Walmart's new in-store AI is giving employees advice on how to sell products before it's too late. According to CNBC, the internally developed AI technology allows Walmart employees to scan produce like bananas to determine how ripe the product is. Then, using generative AI, a digital dashboard will make a suggestion on what to do with the product. For example, recommending a price cut or sending products back to the vendor, all of which helps to eliminate the need for human decision making in the absence of informed advice. Walmart is also experimenting with something similar in apparel. If an employee does an AI scan of clothes by mid season, for example, it can advise employees on whether it should be put on sale earlier. Of course, the more clothes that are sold, the less chance it has of being destroyed. So, Chris, I want to know what your thoughts are on this, but it's also the A&M put you on the spot question.
All right,
Uh,
bring it in. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm rolling on this pocket. Let's do it. I start off hot. Let's bring it. Bring it, A&M.
all right, A&M wants to know, as former store operators, walk us through the practical procedures and tactics of how this would work in store amongst other activities, from the time store associates would actually take to scan individual bananas to how they execute the suggested actions from the AI, such as quick price changes. Chris, you have more experience in the store operations when it comes to things like groceries, so please let us have it.
Yeah, I mean that's why I love A&M. This is such the perfect question for this headline to uncover what's really going on here. And I think net, as much as I've lauded Walmart of late, I think this headline's a little more PR sizzle than probably is warranted, at the end of the day. Because
Definitely.
you
Definitely
think
the,
so
like
too? You think
definitely
so too?
the, like, whole we're saving things from going into the landfill and food
R-
waste, like, it was a
They
really
push the
weird.
sustainability angle a little too hard.
Yeah,
Yes, 100%. And the reason why I personally think that, I'm guessing you feel the same way, is you get down to how is this actually used and what is it really doing? So, and let me explain that. So like between the two, the produce and the apparel idea, I potentially like the produce idea. On the grocery
really.
side, yeah, staffing turnover is high, freshness is important. It's hard to teach that over and over again. But of course, as A&M is alluding to, the devil is in the details. So my question, and I don't know this from the article, is how does it work? Are you scanning individual items? Are you scanning full presentations of apples? Are you scanning cases as they come in? Now, all those use cases potentially could work, but the idea that you're scanning something individually doesn't make sense. So, you're probably looking at the overall presentation of apples and saying, okay, we need to take a price cut on this. And having a tool that could do that and inform you with good AI and analytics, I can get on board with that. I can at least get on board with it from an experimentation perspective to
Sure.
understand if there's value there. The apparel use case, though, I am not on board with at all, and partly because apparel is a different product than produce. Like, it doesn't have a spoilage factor. For example, here's my question. Here's the $64,000 question on this one for me. What additional information is the employee getting from a scan that shouldn't already be known about that product through smart systems at headquarters?
Right.
All those systems at headquarters should know everything, because there is no on the ground. You don't have to look at a product to be like, oh, is this shirt or sweater going to spoil? Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
happen that way. It's a totally different use case. So, and I honestly can't think of a single piece of information that should be, available to that store employee at that moment that shouldn't be available at the headquarters operations if things are running correctly, and shouldn't be able to run and flow into their promotional and their clearance and their markdown programs. So that one just seems absolutely, absolutely ridiculous to me. But I don't know. Do you agree?
So, well, I guess my question is too, like, it comes down to a question of, like, how dialed in is Walmart's inventory visibility, pricing, and promotions? Like, I guess in the apparel use case, like, is it is there value here in having the store associate go through and use the scanning? Like, this is again where, like, the generative AI part doesn't make sense to me. Like, is there
No.
value in somebody scanning the floor pad to say, like, oh wow, we didn't realize we had 40 extra, like, Kiss concert t-shirts that didn't sell to this market. Like, they're now sitting here on the clearance rack, or there's racks full of them. We need to move it out to get new inventory in. Like, is this giving visibility at the store level that they didn't have before? Like, why would this be a component of that tool in the apparel case? And oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, I think it's a great question. No, it doesn't. I mean, and it's and especially because Walmart is reportedly using RFID to do
That's what
that same thing. And
right.
so, the information that's going to that's going to inform the quote unquote AI engine of what to do is going to be using the same data set regardless. So the question almost becomes moot in a lot of ways, in terms of how this is working, which is very important as we're talking about whether or not this is a good application of the technology.
Right. And I think the important thing to note for me here is like the Ask Sam Gen AI technology that Walmart has built internally that they're using here and at Sam's Club, I think is valuable. Like
Oh
that as a
yeah.
concept is very valuable. There's so much that I think can be gleaned from that as an organization and really to help quickly onboard associates that are where there's high turnover like you were saying earlier. But I think that these particular use cases seem like a very unusual case to highlight. It seems like Walmart's really trying to push the outer edges of what this technology can do, and maybe it's valuable. I still think, like you said, there's a lot of unknowns though of like how exactly this works and like what the benefit is of somebody going in and scanning. And I have to believe that there's some kind of like inventory understanding or component in real time that's part of this, but
Yeah, I
I
mean, the
I
last
don't
point
know
I
what to
make,
make.
can the idea that any retailer would want individual employees scanning, individual items of apparel on their sales floor and adjusting prices is insane. That would take so much workload, so much payroll. It'd be so distracting, and it can just be better handled centrally, 100%. With to your point about the inventory, all the same data flowing through the systems that are going to help make those decisions, regardless. So,